Today we're going to be looking at 3.4, solving multi-step inequalities. Again, like I've been saying throughout this whole chapter, is it's very similar to solving equations. The only thing you have to be mindful of is when you're solving a multi-step inequality, if you have to multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip your inequality symbol. So let's just go straight into some examples. So if we look at example A, I have 9 plus 4t is greater than 21. So if I was going to solve this just like a regular equation, I would get rid of the 9 first, because we undo addition and subtraction before we undo multiplication and division. So I'm going to subtract 9 on both sides. Well, 21 minus 9 is 12. So I have 4t is greater than 12. So now, to get the t alone, I would divide by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I have t is greater than 3. Now these don't ask us to graph, so we're done. So B here, I have parentheses. Remember, whenever we have parentheses, the first thing we need to do is distribute. So over here, 3 times t is 3t. 3 times 1 is positive 3. I don't distribute to the minus 4t because that's not in parentheses, so I'm just going to bring that down. Now, from here, I have to combine like terms. Since the 3t and the negative 4t are on the same side, I use regular operations. 3t minus 4t is negative 1t. So now, to get the t alone, I would minus 3. So I have negative t is greater than or equal to negative 8. I can't leave a negative sign in front of my variable, so I'm going to divide by a negative 1. Now, since I did that, I divided by a negative 1, I need to flip my inequality sign. Negative 8 divided by negative 1 is positive 8. So I have t is less than or equal to 8. So let's look at example C. Here, I don't have any parentheses. I can't combine like terms, but I do have variables on both sides of the inequality symbol. Just like with solving equations, I need to move them all to one side. I'm going to move the 3n, and since I'm moving it to the other side of the inequality symbol, I do opposite operations. So since it was a positive 3n, I'm going to subtract 3n. 6n minus 3n is 3n. So I have 3n minus 1 is greater than 8. So now I'm going to get rid of the minus 1 by adding 1 to both sides. 8 plus 1 is 9, so I have 3n is greater than 9. Then I divide by 3 on both sides. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I'm left with n is greater than 3. So look at example D. This is the same idea. Here I've got variables on both sides, so I'm going to move the minus 2b by adding 2b. If I do that, 3b plus 2b is 5b, plus 12 is less than 27. From here, I'm going to move the 12, so I minus 12 on both sides. So I have 5b is less than 15. And then one last step, I divide by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So b is less than 3. Now let's look at example 2. Example 2 is very similar to example 1. We're still solving multi-step inequalities, but these are going to have special solutions. Just like with regular equations, sometimes when we solve one, our variable would cancel out, and we'd just be left with numbers. And we would either call that no solution or an identity, or all real numbers. So this one I'm going to solve just like I would any other inequality or equation. I'm going to distribute the 2. So I have 10 minus 8a is greater than or equal to 10 minus 8a. Now from here I can't combine any like terms, but I do have variables on both sides. So I'm going to move my variable to one side. This minus 8a, I'm going to add 8a. When I do that, on this side, I'm left with 10, because the 8a's cancel, is greater than or equal to 10. Now with inequalities, it's not enough to just look at the numbers. You need to make sure the inequality makes sense. Now this is saying 10 is greater than or equal to 10. Well, that's a true statement because 10 is equal to 10. So this would be considered an identity. So remember, an identity means that you can plug in any number for your variable and it would create a true statement. So let's look at B. This one, the first thing I need to do is I need to combine like terms on the right side. 7m minus m is 6m. From here, I have variables on both sides, so I need to move them to one side. So I'm going to minus 6m on both sides. When I do that, 6m minus 6m cancels, and I'm left with negative 5. 6m minus 6m cancels on this side, and I'm left with 7. So I need to ask myself, is negative 5 greater than 7? Well, no, it's not. Negative 5 is smaller than 7, so this has no solution. So let's look at the other examples. This one, I don't have the distributive property and I can't combine any like terms, but I have variables on both sides. So I'm going to move the 5n over by subtracting 5n on both sides. So here I have 9 is less than or equal to negative 1. Well, is 9 less than or equal to negative 1? No, 9 is bigger than negative 1. So this has no solution. So the last example. Here the first thing I need to do is distribute the 2. So I have 9 plus 2x is less than 7 plus 2x minus 6. Now I need to combine like terms on the right side, because 7 and negative 6 are like terms. 7 minus 6 is 1. So from here I have variables on both sides. I'm going to move the 2x by subtracting 2x. Now over here, 2x minus 2x is 0, so I'm left with 9. Over here, 2x minus 2x is 0, so I'm left with 1. Is 9 less than 1? No, 9 is definitely bigger than 1, so this is no solution. So this was solving multi-step inequalities. Like I said, it is very similar to solving equations. The only difference is if you ever multiply or divide by a negative number in order to solve your inequality, you have to flip your inequality symbol. I will see you all tomorrow. Make sure you fill out the Google form.